Hey everyone. Well, it's time to begin the second half of my Saturday Morning TVLog special on Saturday morning cartoons of the 90s. Right now. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. Saturday Morning TVLog. So greetings my fellow YouTubers and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Doyle, better known to y'all as the Big D, and now I'm proud to bring to you the second half of my Saturday Morning TVLog special on my top favorite Saturday morning cartoons of the 90s. Now remember, this is going to have some tunes that I did see on Sundays, but they were probably seen Saturdays in your area, just depends. Now, and again, I'm excluding tunes that were shown on weekdays, including ones that were shown both Disney afternoon and on Saturday morning. So again, you won't see Darkwing Duck or Goof Troop or Aladdin, the Mighty Ducks, or Timon and Pumbaa. I humbly apologize. Now you will see some shows that were actually shown on cable, but they were also syndicated as well. So I'm actually gonna count those, but by cable, it's going to be TBS programs, but not Nickelodeon programs, not Cartoon Network programs. Sorry. Just stay tuned and find out, okay? So, if you're ready, let's begin the second half. Coming in at number 25 is... Two Stupid Dogs from 1993. Now, this was one of Hanna-Barbera's first works with Turner Entertainment after they bought them out. And of course, that same year, we also got the Cartoon Network. Now, although I had known the show had originally started on TBS, but then about a few months later, I actually encountered it being syndicated on my Fox affiliate on Sunday mornings. But however, I will factually count this as Saturday mornings because I'm pretty sure the Fantastic World of Hanna-Barbera aired in your area on Saturday mornings still before the Fox Kids block or whatever. Or if you had an independent syndicated affiliate, good for you. Now, I absolutely enjoy this. It's kind of strange though, but it was probably one of Hanna-Barbera's first shows to have various shorts and kind of reminiscent to their old shows from the old days, like Yogi Bear and Huckleberry Hound, Quick Draw McGraw. Yeah. Of course, we get the unnamed Big Dog, who was voiced by Brad Garrett, and the Little Dog, who are absolutely crazy. We had two segments of theirs, and sandwiched in between them was Super Secret Squirrel and a new update of the old 1965 cartoon character from Hanna-Barbera. And I thought it was pretty cool and all. But anyway, seeing him and his partner Morocco Mole take on all sorts of bad guys, it was pretty good. Two Stupid Dogs, not too bad. I actually did write to Hanna-Barbera, and I got a little something back from him. I don't remember where I put it, but I did get something back from with a picture of the Big Dog and Little Dog from their creator and designer Donovan Cook. So, Two Stupid Dogs, it's pretty funny. It is on DVD, but only the first half of it. I'm sure they'll try and put the second half out sometime in the future. So, Two Stupid Dogs is 25, and number 24 is... Bucky OHare from 1991, also known as Bucky OHare and the Toad Wars. This show I didn't catch, but I did catch it. I did watch all of it on YouTube a few years ago. I mostly knew Bucky OHare because I do remember seeing him in advertisements for his comics or the toys, and also for the well-known underrated NES game from Konami, which I loved renting that, and I know that's kind of a pricey game. I wish I could get that and play that again, because that was one of my favorite games. But anyway, the animated series is easily probably one of the most underrated tunes ever. It only ran for a season, and it came out in 1991. Of course, we have this green I can't say the word again. space-age rabbit named Bucky, along with his crew. Jenny, this here cat with a pink hairstyle. She can really do some cool attacks. Blinky, this little cycloptic robot. Deadeye, this four-armed duck who can really be tough and what have you. Bruiser, I think he's a gorilla. Really get to see him much. And of course, Earth Human Willie DeWitt. Really something. And they take on the Toad Captain and his arsenal of toadies. Yeah, this show's pretty fun. But anyway, if you've never seen Bucky OHare, I think you ought to give it a try. It's pretty cool, actually. And as always, they say, let's croak toads. It's really cool. Like the comic, Bucky OHare and the Toad Wars has gone to become a cult classic. So, that's about it. So, Bucky OHare is number 24, and number 23 is... The Wild West Cowboys of Mesa from 1992. Now, this show was probably another one of the few shows to fall in, to possibly cash in on the popularity of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Actually, I will tell you this. Give me a second, folks. And who actually, the series was created by comic book artist Ryan Brown, who of course was known for his work on TMNT. And of course, this aired on ABC, and I gotta say, it's pretty good actually. And I like the characters, of course. Marshall Moo Montana, the Dakota Dude, and the Colorado Kid. They're all pretty cool characters. Like the supporting characters, Miss Lily, and let's see, Calamity Cade, Cody. Well, just about the others. And of course, the corrupt Mayor Bulloney, and Sheriff Terror Bull, who, unknown to our heroes, is really the outlaw known as Masked Bull, and his two goons, Salsor and Bootheel Buzzard. Plus a lot of others. I'm going to say this show should get an update. I did catch reruns of it on Toon Disney in its early years, but I have not relived this show for some time, but I do know this was pretty good. It also got a game like Bucky OHare, but however, I forgot to mention, Bucky OHare also got an arcade game, and so did this game. And of course, it also introduced it also had a different another character, Buffalo Bull, playing along with the original three. So that was pretty cool, and of course it was similar to Sunset Riders, and also Archie Comics made a comic book series. Now, I think this is a little something that really should get a reboot one day in the future. But anyway, I do remember this show very well. So, The Wild West Cowboys of Moo Mesa, this is a good show. It's number 23, and number 22 is... Creepy Crawlers from 1994. Now, this, of course, was a Franco-American produced series. Well, I think they mean French. Sorry, my source said that. And produced by Saban, and it ran for 2 seasons. This was another show that was kind of sort of to catch on the Ninja Turtles. But anyway, this show's kind of underrated in some ways. But I do like the characters. It's about this young boy named Chris who's interested in magic, and apparently his creation called the Magic Maker, which of course resembles the actual Creepy Crawler little oven that Toy Max put out. Well, apparently something happens when something really happens in the magic shop Chris worked for. A mysterious thing called the Magical Millennium Moment rained down cosmic energies on one fateful night, which somehow made the Magic Maker capable of creating strange man-sized bug magic trick composite mutant creatures, and thus we had gotten the creepy crawler goop Mandos, Hocus Locust, Volt Jolt, and Tick Tick Tick, or T3 for short. Now, of course, there are other characters. Now, of course, other Goop Mandos would join, even though they were featured in the intro to the show. There was Camantis and Stingray. There would be many others, but of course, they helped Chris try to get his Magic Maker back, which was taken by his former boss, the cruel, discredited stage illusionist Professor Guggenheim. And with the Magic Maker, he's creating his own entities known as Crime Grimes. But anyway, this show is really good. If you've not seen this might be worth looking into. I mean, if you remember Creepy Crawlers, I'd say give it a try. Creepy Crawlers is pretty good. So that's number 22. And number 21 is... I hope you people don't hate me for having this a little high. Captain Planet. Now, I was going to have both shows separate, but I would probably got more hate for this and what have you, so I said the heck with it. I decided to make it just both series, Captain Planet and the Planeteers from 1990, and along with the New Adventures of Captain Planet from 1993. Now, of course, the series was TBS's first actual animated series and was originally produced by Deke for the first run. And then in 1993, it was brought back as the New Adventures of Captain Planet from Hanna-Barbera. Now, unfortunately, while I didn't watch the show much because I didn't have cable when I was in the country at the time, but I got to see when it came on 5 days a week. But however, I'm still counting as a Saturday morning show because I did catch New Adventures before the ABC Saturday morning block started on my ABC affiliate because it aired at 6:30 every Saturday morning. So I woke up and caught it. And well, don't hate me, but I like both versions, but for different reasons. I like the Hanna-Barbera version a little more because I liked how the animation's more brighter and what have you. Of course, we got Captain Planet, of course. The power is yours. I actually watched a few episodes of this not so long ago on Earth Day, just for fun. I know we have I like all the characters. We have Gaia, the spirit of the Earth. We got all the great Planeteers, Wheeler, Mate, Guy, Kwame, and Linka. Yes, with their power rings of the elements, they call on Captain Planet to take on these vile equal villains like Hoggish Greedly, Duke Nukem, Lewin Plunder, Verminous Scum, Sly Sludge, and Dr. Blight, who are always trying to find ways to pollute the Earth. But anyway, it did change up a little bit later on in the run and what have you. Now, of course, in the final season of New Adventures, they actually introduced an actual song called Eco Rap, which was done by Fred Schneider of the band The B-52s. I thought that was pretty good, cool and all, even though I'm not much a B-52s person, because, no offense, I don't like Love Shack. But anyway, this show proved to be educational to everyone, to make sure not to pollute the Earth and what have you, and about recycling and what have you. Yeah. So, anyway, enough said. Captain Planet, well, it may get hated on sometimes these days, but I still have some respect for it, though. So Captain Planet's number 21, and number 20 is... SWAT Kats, the Radical Squadron, from 1993. Yes, also one of TBS's few shows, and was produced by Hanna-Barbera. I used to catch this along with Two Stupid Dogs on the syndicated Fantastic World of Hanna-Barbera's last year. I gotta say, I like these two characters. We go to Mega Cat City, where we encounter these anthropomorphic felines known as cats with a K-A-T. And of course, the SWAT Kats of the Tower, two vigilante pilots, T-Bone and Razor. They possess a state-of-the-art fighter jet with an array of weaponry. But anyway, they face various villains such as Dr. Viper, the Past Master, Dark Cat, the Metallic Cats, Mad Cat, and a host of others. While they are competition for Mega Cat C's militarized police force called the Enforcers, whom they were originally with until they got, well, removed and fired or something like that. Even so, I think this is a pretty good show. I liked a lot of the characters too. The other side characters, Miss Callie Briggs, which of course is, well, SWAT Kat's best friend and what have you, and of course Farrell, the leader of the Enforcers, who of course that's voiced by Gary Owens. Even so, I think SWAT Kats is a pretty good show. I haven't watched it in some time, but it's a pretty cool show, and it's got a rocking theme. Well, the first one does. The second one's not too bad either, but I like the first one a little more. So anyway, SWAT Kats, that's number 20, and number 19 is Calyx Dinosaurs from 1993. Now, this is easily another forgotten tune of the 90s. This aired only 1 year on CBS. It did get rerun on USA, but that was it. Now, this was, of course, the first Nirvana animated series not to come on ABC. Yeah, because ABC was mostly the home for that until Fox managed to come through and Eek the Cat. But this is the first to come to CBS, but it wouldn't be the first since they aired the Nirvana-produced animated segments from the extremely underrated Star Wars Holiday Special back in the late 70s. But anyway, I really loved this show. I did relive this on YouTube. And you can probably find this on there. I think you can still find that. If you've not seen this show, I'd recommend it. It's based on the comic book of the same name, although it was originally known as Xenozoic Tales. And I think this was pretty cool, despite its short stay. It takes place along the future, and it features character Jack Tamrick and his crew of ecological freedom fighters known as the Mechanics. And he's got, Hannah Dundee, and, as his partner, he's one of the many hot characters, and his other companion, Mustafa. And of course, there's a dinosaur. He has an Allosaurus called Hermes. Yeah. So each week they take on the Council of Governors and stuff like that. And of course the gang led by Hammer Terhune. This unfortunately ran 13 episodes, but I think you should check this show out. I think you'll like it. Now, it does have a Capcom arcade game too. So, but if you've seen that and never saw this animated series, you missed out on something big. Like I said, you can find this on YouTube, but I can't remember the channel you can find it from. I do know it's from a channel from Nirvana. But anyway, Calyx and Dinosaurs, I'd say that's easily an underrated show. It's number 19, and number 18 is Where on Earth is Carmen Sandiego from 1994. Now this came on the Fox network. It was produced by Deke. While PBS was already having success with the game show of Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego, Deke decided to bring the crime queen in animated form in her own animated series, where two junior detectives, Ivy and Zach, they're both siblings, work for the flowing head of the chief, who happens to be a guy, and the chief is voiced by Roger Bumpass, who, of course, this was before he voiced a certain Squidward Tentacles on SpongeBob SquarePants, and Carmen is voiced by legendary actress Rhea Moreno. And each week they manage to go after the crime queen, but she always manages to make an escape and what have you. But I'm gonna say I really do think this was a really great show. And of course, the theme tune bears a close resemblance to the chorus of Sing Songs of the Great Pasha from Mozart's opera, The Abduction from the Seraglio. I hope I pronounced that right. But anyway. Well, now of course, Carmen was a former agent of Acme who left when she sought a greater challenge and has a strong code of ethics when stealing items. Of course, we have a live-action unseen character known as the Player, who bookends acts by communicating with Carmen, and sometimes she always says, "See you next, crime." Now, each episode also had like a little bit of a question for y'all before the commercial break, and then gives us the answer when the show returned. The show is on DVD. I'm sure you can find it on various websites as long as it's safe and what have you. But anyway, I do think this show is really fun, and while I do enjoy it, it's not quite as much as the PBS game shows, but it still ranks up there as a very good show. So Where on Earth is Carmen Sandiego is number 18. Oh yeah, and I still haven't taken the time to watch the new Carmen Sandiego series that Netflix has. Maybe someday I'll get a chance, but anyway, back to the countdown. Number 17 is Iron Man from 1994. Also, of course, it's Iron Man the Animated Series, y'all. Now, of course, this era is part of the Marvel Edge Hour, along with the Fantastic Four, which we'll see where that winds up. You'll see that in a little bit. But anyway, I actually did catch this. It's not too bad of a show. Robert Hayes, most of y'all know him from movies like the Airplane movies, and also Homer Bound, The Incredible Journey. He voices the title character. Though it only lasted a couple seasons, but it was the subject of a major overhaul between seasons when its production studio was changed. Now, the original series, I'm going to say, was good in some ways. I didn't quite enjoy the first season's theme, but however, in the second season, where the show kind of got a little darker, it had a much better rockin' theme. Yeah. And of course, we had, let's see. War Machine was on this, so was, let's see, Hawkeye, Scarlet Witch, and Spider-Woman. No, a different Spider-Woman, Julia Carpenter. Not the original, which of course that was from when she first came out in 1978, because there were very incarnations of Spider-Woman. And each week they take on the sinister Mandarin, who appeared in the first season most of the time as the main antagonist, but Iron Man took on other villains, but we do see Mandarin appear at the end of most of the second season episodes until the two-part series finale. We have, of course, Grey Gargoyle, Whirlwind, and of course, the MODOK, modern organism designed only for killing. Yeah, you bet you didn't know why I bet you didn't know I knew that. Yeah, Iron Man's pretty good. I did see this on YouTube as well. I did catch some of it on Marvel's website as well. It is on DVD. Check it out if you'd like. But anyway, now of course this wasn't Iron Man's first time in animation. He did appear in 1960s in the Marvel Superheroes show. But that's another story. But Iron Man the Animated Series, it's not bad of a show. It's number 17, and number 16 is Mighty Max from 1993. Now this, of course, is based on the toy line that was from the same company that did the Polly Pocket line. And of course, it ran for a couple seasons on the Amazing Adventures block. I gotta say, this was pretty good. Of course, follows Max, an adventurous preteen boy who receives in the mail a small statue of a fowl. Apparently, he finds us on the statue Egyptian hieroglyphs, where it translation means you have been chosen to be the cat bearer. Go to the mini mart and wait for a sign, Mighty Max. He accidentally drops a statue, shattering and revealing a red baseball cap emblazoned with a yellow M, which he dons, and it's capable of projecting wormhole-like portals through which he can teleport across space and time. There he befriends, well, the anthropomorphic fowl, Virgil, and Norman, a Viking who happens to be his bodyguard. And Norman's voiced by Richard Mall, aka Bull of TV's Night Court fame. Virgil's voiced by Tony Jay, and Max voiced by Rob Paulson, who, of course, was already being a big voiceover at the time for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Animaniacs, which happened to premiere the same year. But I gotta say, they join Max in taking out the sinister Skullmaster, who is voiced by Tim Curry himself, yes. But anyway, this show I don't think is available, but there's also an educational epilogue before the credits and what have you. I think that's pretty cool. Now, I think if you've never seen this show, I think this is worth looking into. So, Mighty Max is number 16, and number 15 is The Fantastic Four from 1994. This aired on the Marvel Action Universe along with Iron Man. Now, this had 2 seasons just like Iron Man did. I will say that it's a great show. It's a little underrated, but still good though. I mean, now I did like the first version with catchy pop theme, but I did like it with the more epic music when it went on for a second season. And of course, we have our group of heroes. This would be the group's 3rd series, but it'd be series overall, but it'd be their second show to actually feature the original group, because the second series, which was 1978's The New Fantastic Four, had Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, removed because they were planning to have him in a different series. And Brian Herbie the Robot. But this time, it's a real thing. Reed Richards, aka Mr. Fantastic. Sue Richards, aka the Invisible Woman. And of course, Johnny Storm, the Human Torch. And of course, Benjamin J. Grimm, aka the ever-loving Blue-Eyed Thing. It's clobbering time. And each week, they take on all sorts of baddies, including Dr. Doom and Mole Man. Yeah, I did relive some of this series a few years ago, but not a whole lot. But if I ever do, I will. But anyway, yeah, Fantastic Four is pretty good. But scratch that. Kind of make that kind of 4th, but it'd actually be the 4th But however, overall, it would be the fourth series to feature the Thing because almost forgot because the Thing had his own animated series in 1979. I don't factor would consider Fantastic Four because the whole group wasn't in. But anyway, Fantastic Four animated series. I'm gonna say this is a very good show. It's not too bad. It does have a few its moments, but it's still a fun show. So Fantastic Four is 15, and number 14 is Eek the Cat from 1992. Now, I had so many other shows in the way I didn't catch this when it first premiered on the Fox network. But however, I managed to catch it later on. And I started to watch this even after I won a little X-Men Frisbee when I was a member of the Fox Kids Club on my Fox affiliate. Yeah, can you believe it? I bet you couldn't. But anyway, created by Savage Steve Holland and Bill Kopp, who voices the title character. Eek is this here purple cat who gets in all sorts of mishaps. I'll be doing a Saturday morning TVLog for him later on this month. I gotta say, this is just a whole load of fun. He always puts our safety, needs, and comfort before his own. He can talk with all animals and most humans, but I don't even know if he can't converse with his owners. The unnamed mother and her kids, Wendy, Elizabeth, and JB, and he often says, "Kumbaya!" Yeah, and his motto is, "It never hurts to help." Yeah, he always... The major running gag within the show is that Eek's selfless nature usually gets him caught up in painful situations, as you probably do remember seeing the intro and whatever. It was such as getting caught in mail and baggage stores, all sort of like that. I'm sorry, I can't do it that well, or else my voice might get a little weakened. Oh gosh, it hurts! Well, the show's guitar riff theme is played, plus other guitar riffs. That's one of the things I liked about this. And his big fat pink girlfriend Annabelle is absolutely funny too. But of course, he's got to worry about her pet of a guard dog, Sharky the Shark Dog. Boy, he terrorizes Eek for fun. Let's see, we have Elmo the Elk, that's a pretty good character, and so many other crazy characters. The Squishy Bears, who are take of the Care Bears, and of course Wendy Elizabeth likes to watch. Crazy. But anyway, the show was pretty good, and it went on to have the Eek extravaganza featuring the terrible Thunder Lizards, which of course was already brought up in the second half. If you haven't seen in the first half of this year ranking, if you haven't checked out, I'll give in the suggestions when I'm done with this. But anyway, and then went on to have another series to go with called Clutter, which was like similar to Scooby-Doo, but except it involved a pile of clothes to form clutter. Yeah. But anyway, Eek the Cat, yeah, it's pretty funny. I've caught it a few years back. It's hysterical. Eek the Cat, that's number 14, and number 13 is... Taz-Mania. That's right. After appearing in so many cartoons for Warner Bros., the Tasmanian Devil got his own show. On the Fox network, Taz-Mania originally premiered in 1991 and became a success, after becoming Warner's second hit after Tiny Toon Adventures was such a success. I gotta say, it's pretty funny. And we get to see the rest of his family, including, let's see, Jean, that's Taz's mother, Hugh, the dad, who always whose voice and mannerisms are a parody of Bing Crosby's. And then there's Taz's big sister, 16-year-old Molly, who can be bossy at the time, and Jake, Taz's kid brother, who often looks up and idolizes Taz. Then there's their pet of a turtle, Dog, who acts like a dog. There's lots of other characters. There's also many. Bushwhacker Bob and his mom. Let's see. Didgeridoo, Wendell T. Wolf. The Platypus Brothers. The Kiwi. And the Bush Rats. And of course we had Taz has enemies including Francis X. Bushland and Bullganger and Axel. And yeah, those are all great characters. I think, since I didn't catch on way at first, but soon I caught into it, and Taz-Mania proved to be one of my few favorite Warner Bros. Produced series. Yeah, I loved watching the show. When Cartoon Network had on, I caught reruns of it and got to like it even more. It's so much fun. Anyway, Taz-Mania, that's 13, and number 12 is... Tales from the Crypt Keeper. Yes, bulls and ghouls, Tales from the Crypt Keeper from 1993. Now, I'm sort of actually going to include both versions, because even though the slightly toned down new Tales from the Crypt Keeper from 1997 was more, toned down and what have you, but it was pretty funny though. Now, the show originally started on ABC, based on, of course, their tales of horror for kids based on the gruesome EC comics of the same of that title, presented by the legendary Crypt Keeper, who is always doing something big. But when the show got picked up for a second season, he had some big competitors trying to take over his hosting, including the Old Witch and the Vault Keeper. Anyway, after the show ended, about a year and a half, a little over a year and a half later, Crypty was back on Saturday mornings when he appeared in New Tales from the Crypt Keeper, which he appeared in the stories. And after his game show Secrets of the Crypt Keeper's Haunted House ended. Now, I have watched all the episodes. You can find them on YouTube. You can find them on Tubi. Yes, you heard me correctly. You can find all of them. You can find them on that the page Nirvana has, who produced the show. I can't remember the name of the channel, but if you can find it, check out Tales from the Crypt Keeper. If you haven't seen it, or if you do remember the series and you want to relive it, go ahead, go for it. But anyway, it's always funny. I did like New Tales just for certain reasons, especially the ending, where Crypty says to the audience, "Creep out of trouble, kiddies, because I'll be watching." Yeah. Tales from the Crypt Keeper. Very good show. It's number 12, and number 11 is... Bobby's World from 1990. One of the first shows to premiere on the Fox Network's Fox Kids lineup. And the show was created by Howie Mandel, who of course appears in live-action form along with the title character who he happens to voice, as well as his dad, Howard Generic. That's, of course, Bobby's last name, Generic. Now, I really do think this was pretty good. I didn't quite watch this much at first, but soon after, when I was tired of watching other shows, I decided to watch it. And what can I say? I really do enjoy it, because Bobby's my favorite character. I do like his... folks, Howard, his dad, and her, and the mom, excuse me, Martha, because I always liked her. She often acts in her speech phrases and what have you, especially when she tells her friends that and when seeing Bob, it's like, oh, he's so gosh darn cute. Yeah, very funny. And there's Kelly, Bobby's tomboyish, rebellious sister, and well, the and then there's the second one, the second child, the 10-year-old brother Derek. He's a bit of a bully with a rat tail haircut. Let's see. We soon get this, and I forgot that there were two new additions, Jake and Alex. They were baby twins who were introduced in the third season. And then there's Aunt Ruth. I rarely remember this character, voiced by E. McClurg, but the one real character I really do remember, and I like this guy, is Bobby's Uncle Ted, who is absolutely funny. And I always like it when he calls Bobby Bobo, gives him noogies, and of course there's the family dog, Roger. Yeah. Bobby's world follows the daily life of this little dude with his very overactive imagination and how he sees the world. Yeah. I think this show's great. You can find the episodes on YouTube. It's also available on Amazon Prime. If you haven't seen this show, or if you missed down this show, or if you haven't seen this show in a long time, relive it. It's pretty fun. So Bobby's World's number 11. Now for the top 10. Number 10 is... The Ames Family from 1992. The second animated series produced by Hanna-Barbera, which came out after the success of the movie a year before that. This, however, I think is a little more better than the original from 1973, based on the comic strip characters from Charles Adams. Now, of course, they brought back John Astin to voice Gomez, who he, of course, played the character on the live-action TV show back in the 60s, though he was voicing Bulgair on Taz-Mania at the time, but he got to do this. I gotta say, it's pretty funny. Now, there were 2 episodes produced. Absolutely loved all the hysterical funny moments. All the characters were great. Morticia, Uncle Fezzer, who was voiced by Big Mustache Funny Man Rip Taylor. Granny was good. I, of course, like Lurch and Thing. Cousin Ed. Of course, Wednesday and Pugsley. And, of course, we have their yuppie neighbors, the Norman Myers, who aren't exactly big fans of the M's, except their son, NJ. But anyway, I gotta say, it's absolutely funny. If I ever encounter it on some website, I might watch it every October, and because I like it for certain reasons. It's just so much spooktacular fun. It's one of my favorite spooktacular tunes of all time. And unlike the 70s cartoon, it brought back the theme song we knew from the 60s series. Yep. I absolutely do love the Ames Family from 1992. It's absolutely fun. So, it's number 10. And number 9 is... King Arthur and the Knights of Justice from 1992. Now, although I actually watched this on Sunday mornings on the Amazing Adventures blog, but again, I'm sure Amazing Adventures aired Saturday mornings in your neck of the woods if you had a syndicated, an independent syndication channel. I gotta say, it's pretty good and what have you. Let's see. Avi Arad, who of course was CEO and founder of Marvel Studios, was one of the creators of this. Yeah. It only had a few episodes. It only had like 2 seasons. But of course, if you know how the story goes, King Arthur and his knights are captured by the evil witch Morgana. And so Merlin looks through the crystal ball, and as the intro goes, and then from the field of the future, a new king will come to save the world of the past. And thus he finds, well, Arthur Knight, and he's a quarterback for the New York Knights team, and transports him and his teammates to Camelot after one of their football games. And he appoints Arthur as their leader, with his teammates as the new Knights of the Round Table. So they must try to find the keys of truth in order to free the real King Arthur. Face off against the sinister Lord Viper and other baddies. But anyway, this show's very good. It's a little underrated, but still good though. It's one of my favorites, and it's so awesome. It really is. I haven't relived this for some time, but it's really good. And of course, it's got a great rockin' theme song, and it's got some epic music, etc., etc., etc. Enough said. So King Arthur and the Knights of Justice is number 9, and number 8 is The Tick from 1984. I loved this show. I used to watch this. Yeah, but apparently, based on Ben Edlund's comic of the same name, the series ran for 3 seasons on the Fox network, and later got syndicated as it has gained a cult following. I have to say, it's absolutely fun, what have you. And of course, he's got his sidekick, former accountant Arthur, who wears like this, just in this white suit, but it's a moth suit, and also with their other allies, the Flayer Mouse, American Maid, Sewer Urchin, and many others. They protect the city from bad guys like Chairface Chippendale, Breadmaster, Elseed, the Terror, and a host of others. I absolutely love this. I haven't watched it in a long time, but I do know it was pretty cool and all. I absolutely do love this. Townsend Coleman, who was still voicing Michelangelo on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles at the time, voices the title character. Now, Rob Paulsen voiced Arthur in the final 2 seasons, while he was originally voiced by Mickey Dolenz from the Monkees. Yeah. But anyway, this was so absolutely funny. The theme song's so cool and what have you. And the Tick's just one of the greats. I need to do a Saturday Morning TVLog of this sometime. I love lots of these episodes. I especially love the Tick versus the Tick episode where this got dressed up. Where's the jerk that calls himself the Tick? And our hero's like, I am that jerk. I love how the Tick runs across villains. Yeah, what he does on the rooftops. Oh boy, he's so much fun to watch. I love it. The Tick's a great show. It's number 8, and number 7 is Street Sharks. Based on the Mattel toy line of the same name, this show premiered in 1994 on the Amazing Adventures block. I absolutely think this is so cool. I watched most of it, but I think recall its layer season where it was teamed up with a layer series, which was called Dino Avengers, which I think that was about the time when Amazing Adventures was Splitsville from my Fox network. So anyway, I really do like the show. I like the rockin' sounding theme song for the first season, and then it's rockin' jazzy sounding theme for the second season. But anyway, Street Sharks is pretty cool. Of course, I did a Saturday Morning TVLog for that last year. Of course, this follows the sons of Dr. Robert Bolton, who is caught by his former partner, Dr. Paradigm. Or Paradigm. I can't remember because it's been a while since I last saw the show. Into his machine known as a gene slammer, which is capable of changing aquatic animals into anthropomorphic hybrids by combining their DNA. Finally, I got that word right. So, apparently, Bolton's 4 sons are changed into 4 different sharks, and thus, the street sharks are born with their friend Benz. Let's see, and hang on a second. And Lena, that's Dr. Paradigm's student, who suspects him of his crime. And of course, the street sharks would be our heroes, Ripster, or Rip for short, Jab, Streaks, and Big Slamoo. They take on Paradigm, who soon becomes Dr. Paranoid. But anyway, Street Sharks is very awesome. Another one of the main shows to follow in the footsteps of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I love this show. It's really cool and it rocks. And it's awesome. Street Sharks is number 7 and number 6 is... Princess Guinevere and the Jewel Riders from 1995. Now, as you might recall in the last part, I mentioned one chick to actually be out Sailor Moon and Tenko and the Guardians of the Magic, which happened to premiere the same year this show. Well, that was this show, based on Kenner's toy line. This is another Amazing Adventure show, and it was produced by Bobot along with New Frontier Productions, which, of course, was founded by Robert Mandel, who, of course, that's the guy who created the cult classic 80s cartoon, The Adventures of the Galaxy Rangers. Now, last year I got to relive the whole series. I found a channel called the Jewel Riders Archive. Check them out, because they've got all the episodes, but make sure to pick the right ones. It's gotta be Princess Guinevere and the Jewel Riders. If you're international, you know it's Starla and the Jewel Riders, but that's only if you want to hear that, well, Starla instead of Princess Guinevere. But I loved this version, Princess Guinevere. I love it. The show is actually similar to Adventures of Galaxy Rangers, but with a little bit of chick feel, also with a little bit of the original She-Ra and Rainbow Bright rolled into one. I gotta say, it's absolutely amazing. I loved the characters, Guinevere and her partners, Fallon and Tamara. They try and stop the evil Lady Kale, to be Guinevere's aunt, restoring the harmony and magic in Wyvia, and bring home Merlin. But anyway, I like a lot of the other characters. Let's see, there's Merlin's owl, Archimedes, or Archie for short, who is absolutely a real fun character. There's the gang's horses that they become unicorns, just like She-Ra's horse Spirit becomes Swiftwind, and I do love the baby animals that Tamara takes care of. Yeah, I have to say, this is just a great show. It's one of my favorite chick tunes, but it's my second favorite Amazing Adventures show behind the next show that's coming up, Princess Guinevere and the Jewel Riders. That's number 6, and number 5 is Double Dragon from 1993. And again, another Amazing Adventure show. Now, I love this show. I mean, it's actually based on not just the popular beat-em-up game, and it's also based on the comic book series as well. Now, of course, we start out with Billy Lee, and he learns his brother Jimmy was raised by the evil Shadow Master as his second in command, the Shadow Boss. But soon he breaks free and joins his brother in becoming true heroes, masked heroes, once they cross swords and say their oath. For might, for right, we are double dragons! And of course, they take on the Shadow Master and his goons. I like the show. The characters are pretty good. We get to see some of them, including Marion, who's actually a police officer, and lots of others. There's also a moral at the end of each episode, since this was produced by Deke. But I gotta say, it's pretty cool. I did relive a little bit of it, but I want to try and relive it more. I think you can find it on YouTube. I know it's on Tubi now, and you can also find it on DVD, because it just got released on DVD. Let me see, was it? Did it come out last year? Yeah, it came to DVD last year for the first time ever. So if you've never seen the Double Dragon cartoon, this one I'd highly recommend. So Double Dragon is number 5, and number 4 is Conan the Adventurer from 1992. Now, this originally did get started as a Saturday morning toon for its first season, so I'm counting that. Now, after its first 13 episodes, it later went to 5 days a week for its next 52 episodes. I'm trying to finish watching the series on Tubi, since the last 26 episodes were released on DVD by Shout Factory, which I do have those sets. I'd like to try and finish the series and see how it goes. Conan, of course, the mightiest warrior ever, created by Robert E. Howard in the 1930s, is in his first ever animated series. Kind of underrated though, but it's still a fun, action-packed show. We join Conan in his quest to undo the spell of living stone that was cast upon his family, with the help of his sword made of star metal, plus the weapons from his allies he meets. Zula, who has a boomerang. Well, he originally had a bolo, but now it's a boomerang he has for later runs. Jasmine, an acrobat who has like these shurikens. Now Zula, I will say, becomes who's like this African prince, American prince type character or something like that. Becomes Conan's blood brother. And he can communicate with animals by making signs and what have you. Let's see, and then there's a Grey Wolf, a wizard, who uses this here, well, wolf's claw on his staff, in hopes of returning his brother and sister, Sasha and Misha, back to human form after they were changed into werewolves. Yeah, the claw is made out of star metal, and Snag, who looks like a Viking, but he's a barbarian as well. Not quite like Conan though, but he carries an axe, and the axe is star metal as well. They help, and with that, they can banish the evil serpent men into another dimension known as the Abyss, and vanquish their leader, who happens to be one of the most scariest villains of all, the cruel wizard Rathamon. Really cool. The show is created by Christy Marks, who of course worked on other shows for Sunbow, who produced like Gem and the Holograms and stuff. Oh yeah, and also in there is another ally, and that of course being the baby Phoenix Needle, who comes out of Conan's shield. I love him. He's a comic relief. He loves pomegranates, and I always like it. You don't want to go with Big Dumb Barbarian. Yeah, he calls him that most of the time. And he has to talk like a parrot, so that way he won't raise attention to everyone. But boy, I love Needle. He's a very funny character. But it's a little guy with lots of spunk. So, if you haven't seen the show, I recommend this one too. So, Conan the Adventurer is number 4. Now for the final 3. Number 3 is Superman, the animated series from 1996. Though this was from the Kids WB blog, but I didn't get to see it till Cartoon Network aired a few episodes, not too many. I rarely got to see it because It came on Toon Disney, but unfortunately, I didn't get to have that channel much, and well, see the channel much since I was more into Cartoon Network and Boomerang. But soon I finally got the complete series. I need to rewatch it though, but I really do love it. I love this a little bit more than the new Batman series that came aside from this, but this show is pretty good. I liked all the bad guys, including Lex Luthor, who was voiced by Clancy Brown. Of course, you know him from several movies like Pet Sematary 2 and others, and of course, he was the voice of Mr. Krabs on SpongeBob. And all other bad guys, I got to see Livewire, Metallo, Parasite, Brainiac, even Mr. Mxyzptlk, who was voiced by Gilbert Gottfried. Yeah. And Lobo. Yeah, real good. I like the way our characters look. Jimmy Olsen, Lois Lane, Perry White, etc., etc., etc. This was probably one of the greatest animated versions of Superman ever. Though I do like the original from Max Fleischer, or the New Adventures of Superman from Filmation in the 60s, or even the underrated Ruby Spears Superman from the 80s. I think Superman the Animated Series is probably the best of them all. I really do love this show. So anyway, Superman the Animated Series is number 3, and the next 2 are Marvel Toons, but this was a tough decision though. So number 2 is X-Men from 1992. It originally aired on the Fox Network. I've got to say, this was the second attempt after the first one, X-Men. Prior to the X-Men was not picked up, which of course, that was the series that gave inspiration for the popular beat-em-up game Konami did. But I did grow up watching this, of course. X-Men was so much good, and it was a big redemption for superhero tunes after some time. But this was the first Marvel tune to come in years since Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, or The Incredible Hulk, or even the 80s solo Spider-Man tune. But anyway, I love the show. It just had so much stuff. The series dealt with social issues, including divorce, Christianity, the Holocaust, heck, even AIDS hysteria and feeling of loneliness. But we had all the great characters from all the pages of Marvel Comics. We had Cyclops, Wolverine, Rogue, Storm, the Beast, Gambit, Jubilee, Jean Grey, Professor X, and a host of others. Of course, they take on the Sinister Magneto and the Brotherhood of Mutants. Get to see those characters as well. I haven't watched it in some time. I did watch some of it on Marvel's website a few years ago. I did see it on Toon Disney in reruns. But anyway, X-Men I think is pretty good. So it's number 2. Now, before I go to number 1, I'll give a few honorable mentions. Not too many though. These are only a few tunes that'll come to mind. Let's see. Project Yeager, very underrated tune. Sky Dancers, although Dragonflies made it, but Sky Dancers didn't. I apologize. It's a pretty good show. Let me remember some others. Oh yeah, Reboot. This should have made my list, but I haven't watched it in some time. But that was the first computer animated cartoon series. That's a pretty good show. The Mask, that should have made it. It's not too bad of a show. It's cool and smokin'. Let me remember some more. Gee, there's so many to mention. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures, that was pretty cool, based on the Bill and Ted series. Here's hoping their new movie comes this year. Well, at least I hope. Free Willy, based on the movies. It's not bad. Not great though. Like, well, If I missed any more, I humbly apologize. Oh wait, and Disney's Little Mermaid. That almost made the list, but since I only got to see the first season until our CBS affiliate removed it for news and what have you, I'm sorry. That would be the only Disney tune I could think of. Raw Tunage, another Disney tune. Marsupilami, I did see that a little bit. Oh, What a Mess. Yeah, that's just about a lot of other tunes. And one tune oh yeah, Exo Squad. That was a pretty good action packed show. A bit underrated though. While I didn't have WB and I didn't get to see his Ultra as an honorable mention since I never watched the show Earthworm Jim based on the video games. I definitely need to watch that. So we'll see what happens. So now my number one favorite Saturday morning cartoon of the 1990s is Spider-Man from 1994, also known as Spider-Man the Animated Series, of course. Now, I love this show. I relived most of this a few years back on Marvel's website after I had watched the original Spider-Man from 1960s. But I gotta say, this was a big success for Fox. After X-Men was so successful, it premiered the same year that the Iron Man and Fantastic Four animated series came out. And I must say, it was just so action-packed. I also loved the theme song, which was composed by Joe Perry from Aerosmith. Especially that guitar riff, down, 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 down. Yeah, oh, and please don't sue me. But anyway, it was really cool seeing Spidey back on the tube. I got to see all those great characters. Had J. Jonah Jameson, who was voiced by legendary actor Ed Asner. Let's see, the Black Cat, Mary Jane, the Kingpin, and Aunt May, who was originally voiced by Linda Gary, best known for her voice acting in various Filmation cartoons, most notably the original He-Man. Well, she was originally Amy's voice until she died. Green Goblin, we had Hobgoblin, we had Doc Ock, we had Scorpion, Morbius, who unfortunately, I'm sorry to have known that his movie's been rescheduled to next year. Sorry. Let's see. Oh yeah, Shocker. And of course, probably a favorite of everyone, every Spidey fan, Venom. And we did get to see a little bit of Carnage and Electro and Mysterio. Oh, the list goes on. Spider-Man, the animated series, is definitely one of my absolute greatest. It's my absolute favorite Marvel cartoon of them all. No offense to everyone who liked the X-Men cartoon more. I completely do understand. But anyway, Spider-Man, the animated series, it's just great. I especially do love when we see the flashing colors when Spidey's spider sense goes off. That's absolutely cool. But anyway, I'm hoping to relive Spider-Man, the animated series again sometime. But anyway, that's going to do it. And as Stan Lee would say, enough said. Okay, now then. So, Spider-Man the Animated Series is my number one favorite Saturday morning tune of the 1990s. What did you think of this half? And what's your favorite shows on this list? And if you'd like, try and do a rank of your favorite Saturday morning cartoons of the 1990s. Or tell me what your number one favorite Saturday morning cartoon of the 1990s is. Leave me a comment in the comments section below. Like and subscribe to my channel as well. And be a part of the Big D Nation. And join me again next Saturday morning when I get to Mischievous May, when I talk about the Tom and Jerry comedy show. Thanks for watching. Now, if you liked what you saw, you can check out some of these other Saturday Morning TV logs. In the upper left-hand corner is my Saturday Morning TV log of Street Sharks that I did last summer. Or if you like, you can go to the upper right-hand That's the upper left-hand corner for Street Shark. The upper right-hand corner, you can see my Saturday Morning TV log of Tales from the Crypt Keeper that I did last Halloween. And the bottom left-hand corner is my Saturday Morning TV log of the Ames Family that I did last October. And the bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe to my channel. And I'm glad to be over 200 subscribers as well. Thanks again for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya!